Today's episode is dedicated in loving memory to Redfish and Bluefish, 2016 to 2016.
That always reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire when she opens up the fridge and has the pie on her face and just like, hello, darling.
I love it. Episode 322. We're feeling good. We're feeling good.
Man.
How you doing, Sarah?
You know, I've not even thought about this for one half a second before just this moment. But you think Mrs. Doubtfire is still PC? You think it would still hold up? Or do you think we would cringe a little? Like, I watched Love Actually, and I was like,
Yeah, that hasn't aged well.
Yeah. So people don't at me, also, Love Actually fans. I know it's still great and wonderful. We can appreciate something, but also call it out for maybe some things that are,
Sarah's on the defense already.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I never saw Mrs. Doubtfire.
What?
I know.
What? Okay. Susie. Add this to... Okay, I'm doing that thing that people do with it.
But
I can't
true.
help it.
I do need to see it.
I only react like that when it's movies that I feel like you would love.
Well, and it shouldn't have been banned. I mean...
That was banned... Oh, men dressing as women. How dare they?
Probably.
Oh, God.
Well, so what was not PC about it besides that part?
I think just that. But
it's like the whole movie.
That's pretty much the entire movie. Like, I just wonder. I haven't seen that in a really long time, and just because of the...
Well, I never saw Tootsie either, but is the same problem, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
maybe.
He's a guy dressing as a woman.
But it's almost like, I don't even know if that's what I feel like... Yeah, I'm going to have to watch it, and then I'll get back to you.
I had a dream last night.
This is very incomplete.
I dreamt that I was starting a job and that I was in orientation and
it's already a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a night terror. And one of the people in the orientation was a lesbian and one was a trans woman.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to know that I was an ally, so I was virtue signaling and being like, claiming that I started this group in my high school to support LGBTQ people. I was so excited to do it, to tell them, and I'm such a loser for even having the dream.
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
How many nights ago did you dream this?
Last night.
Oh, just last night. Okay, because night before last, I had a dream about supporting lesbian and transgender people.
Lame. You're kidding.
I'm not kidding at all. But mine was a little different because I was in a relationship with one.
That is a little different.
Yeah. I was in a relationship with a transgender individual who...
A trans woman or a trans man?
A trans man.
Interesting.
Yes.
That would be a great fit for you.
Right. That's what I said in my dream. Because in my dream, we were like dating, and then they didn't tell me right away. And I found out when we were being intimate, and I was like, yeah, no big deal, whatevs.
No, NBD, no big deal.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So would you call that a sex dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so.
I wasn't sure like how hot and heavy it got. And
yeah, you know what's weird is that in my mind, I didn't classify it as like a hot and heavy sex dream. It was more like I don't know. It said something. It was different than that. It was like more of like a love dream.
Oh man, you loved him.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice.
And he was so hot.
Really? But
oh my God, that's like the part of the dream I remember. I was like, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that part was hot and heavy. And then it was like, oh, I love this person and I accept this person. Maybe that was
really
it.
Nice,
it's like,
Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Wait,
Sis.
Are you somebody that has a lot of sex dreams?
Not really, actually.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Every
Every now and then.
About. Yeah. It'll just pop up. All right.
But I practice self-love every so often. So maybe it's just because I'm, Getting what I need during the daylight hours.
Self-love. Is that what we're supposed to call it?
That's what I'm calling it.
Oh, God. That's really
That's
funny.
why, we talked about that in my sex therapy class, how people will say, oh, I don't have a sex life. But I'm like, everybody's got a sex life. You can be having a sex life solo. You still have a sex life. Like, for real.
I met people this week who, I won't say who they are because people will know who they are, who do not perform self-love and never have ever one time.
I think they're missing out.
Yeah, why would anyone do that?
I think that's not what... I think you'd have to explore the reason as to why they don't do that. What is the deeper meaning there? Is there some self-shame? Is there shame involved in this? Because the idea that we should be ashamed about learning about ourselves and knowing what it is we like in a very, like, biological and natural, thing is incorrect.
Yeah.
Like, we learn about every other part, how, like, the human body functions and, to, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not, like, I shouldn't say, oh, I don't know. No, I do know.
Right.
That's not what any book would, any of the research would say.
Yeah, if you're somebody who's listening that doesn't
Let's
do that.
just talk about why. Yeah.
Yeah, like, maybe give it a try.
And also it's layered. So there's so many things involved. If you think about the statistic that says 1 in 3 women, gosh, is that it? Oh, God. 1 in 3 women will be sexually assaulted. Oh, my God, is that the number? I'm pretty sure it is.
If
and
it's
1 in
not,
6
it's
men,
something close to that.
it's close to that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So if you think that 33% of the population, or like female population, and a lot of the male population too, are walking around with sexual trauma in some way, or like have had maybe the possibility. I'm not saying everybody does have trauma. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there are, like, you have that untreated, and then people do things like disassociate and have like tonic immobility and all those kind of like survival reflexes that are triggered in those moments that then would be brought up again anytime they would engage in an activity that looked similar. So if you're disassociating because of, past sexual experiences that kind of made you do that, then you would do the same thing it's possible that you would do the same thing in other sexual encounters, even if they were solo. So you'd avoid those because it didn't feel like you were connected to that at all.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the reason why they're abstaining, then I get it.
Yeah. Yes.
But if it's just sort of feels scary or, I don't know, shameful or something, then you should go ahead and give it a whirl.
That it's bad, or it's like, what do they say to the boys when I was growing up? It was like, you'll go blind.
Yeah, you'll go blind.
And you'll get hairy palms.
Who says that?
I have no clue, but that was the rumor that floated around my elementary school, at least.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah, you'll get hair on your palms, which is ridiculous.
And we'd see
I feel like it would really seem like the opposite.
Right.
Like
if
enough
anything,
friction, you would just,
Yeah, it's like a waxing.
Exactly.
What a funny thing.
So, no, I'm all about that, and I think we should have no shame around that, and I think people should be. But I also think that there are people who are, I know that there are people who are asexual who don't have any sex drive, and that's fine too.
That's fine too.
That's a percentage of the
envious of those
population as
people.
well. Yeah,
Do you
way
know how
less
much
work.
I could get
Sometimes
accomplished?
I'm like, right.
Ugh. It really clouds my judgment too. Don't get me started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What you should get me started on, though, is how much we freaking love ModCloth clothing.
Love.
Really nice stuff. I am particularly enamored with the range of sizes that they offer.
Yes.
They have XXS to 4X, which and that's in swimsuits too. Yes. And so if you're really small or on the larger side or somewhere in the middle, they have a suit that will flatter you and fit you. And that to me is like a big deal. They have a bridal boutique. If you guys are at that age where you're going to weddings every 5 seconds,
yes,
this is perfect.
And this is wedding season, man.
Wedding season. And you don't, you know how you could go broke going to a wedding? You don't want to do that.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Get something affordable. I have been scoping out new bathing suits because everyone teases me about how many bathing suits I have, but I
Not
really
me.
enjoy them.
You know my motto.
Yeah.
No such thing if you live in Southern California.
Right. I have a pool. We live by the beach. A girl's got to have some variety. So I'm scoping out some more bathing suits. And you guys can get a deal now. To get 15% off your purchase of $100 or more, go to modcloth.com and enter promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. The offer is valid for one-time use only and expires on August 3rd, 2019. That's 15% off your purchase of $100 or more at modcloth.com and promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. This offer is valid for one-time use only and expires on August 3rd, 2019. So, get some stuff.
Yes.
Okay, Sarah.
Question.
Yes.
Question
yes,
first.
Yes.
Did we talk on here about the story? I think we did. Or maybe I dreamt it. The story about the grandma who strangled the bobcat with her bare hands?
No.
Oh my God, we didn't?
No.
Oh, I must have just read this a while ago and then put it in my memory. But that really happened.
What the hell?
So a woman was out in her front yard and she lived in a woodsy kind of area. And I don't know, she was getting the mail or something. And a bobcat jumps up, goes for her neck, to freaking take her down. She grabs the thing in midair and takes it, direct quote from her, hashtag, no, not hashtag, quotes, takes it down, or hashtag takes it down, whatevs, and strangles the thing to death. But this is what I swear, but there are a few hilarious details to this story that I wrote down because in my mind I had thought we already told this, and I was for some reason I thought you had told me this story. And then I was Susie buried the lead, this is the best part about it. The funniest part is that now I know what she was doing because this answers that question. She was out in her driveway putting a bumper sticker on her car that said, "Women who behave rarely make history."
No.
Yes. And the other hilarious part of that is she told the reporters that she had to be quiet because her granddaughter was asleep inside. So when the bobcat attacked her, she strangled it, did not make a sound, but had to go to the hospital to have some injuries treated. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Broken fingers.
Oh my God.
She broke her fingers in silence.
Think about
as to not wake up her sleeping granddaughter. I mean, if this isn't a badass bitch, I don't know what is.
Well, it sure is, but also a testament to how annoying children are that you would rather silently get attacked by a bobcat than wake them up.
That would be more painful. Oh my God, Susie. Excellent point.
That is a riot.
I'm dying. That is
like a mime.
So funny. Yeah, could you just imagine silently screaming as you're being she is being attacked, but it's more the bobcat being attacked. Took that thing down.
Are bobcats essentially the same thing as a coyote or
bigger?
Something? Oh, bigger.
Yes. They're kind of like a scale. If you imagine, if I say this word, you're going to think it's too soft, but like a house cat and a cougar.
Oh my God.
It's somewhere in between that. They're big. They're probably like the size of Bo. Maybe a little smaller than Bo. That's my dog.
And she was able to grasp its neck.
In midair, caught the thing as it lunged at her.
Okay, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then she just kept holding it until it perished.
Yes. I mean, it's her, the bobcat. That thing,
sure.
And there are stories. I live in a place where oh my gosh, they just went in and, suburban sprawl over here, built a bunch of, tract houses in the middle of these guys' neighborhoods. And by these guys, I mean the bobcats and cougars and mountain lions and stuff. And every year there's stories of bikers, people who ride in their bikes, who get attacked by a mountain lion.
Yes. Wait, mountain lion.
Yeah.
Now, what's that?
That's like the cougar.
Okay.
Yeah, just different area. I mean, I'm sure that a quick Google search will bring me up the breakdown of sizes, and then I can show this to you to just kind of get
right,
an idea.
Yeah, right.
Because in my mind, it's cougar at the top, then mountain lion, then bobcat, then coyote, then regular cat.
They all scare the crap out of me.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. These are hungry animals who are now pissed because you've like taken away their food source and, you know, replaced it with like stucco houses.
Yeah, right. Well, good for her. I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah. You got to watch out for your future cat too.
I know. The last people that lived in our house, their dog was eaten by a coyote.
Yep.
So
Mr.
Miyagi's
story
a
of all
goner.
my cats. Yeah, you got to. I mean, like this. I don't know if any karate is going to be able to protect him from. I don't know if wax on, wax off is really going to work with the. He doesn't have opposable thumbs as to strangle the bobcat that could potentially attack him.
A camera that monitors in. I've never seen any, so that surprised me.
No coyotes or anything.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
maybe they only come around if there's critters.
Yeah, and usually they're at a certain time of day. They're like at dusk, right?
Oh,
I don't know. I think so.
And
nighttime, right?
This is reminding me that I got an email from the woman that I was talking about on the show, who's a doctor. Her name's Nicole, and she was at the Chicago meetup. And she's the one that said, you know, how funny it is when we talk about medical stuff. It's like this again with the cats. Like, we don't know anything. We're like, I think it's like a cougar, and don't they come out at night?
Nothing.
But I'll tell you while I'm on the subject that she said she wanted to make a plea to you to think the TV show The Resident is not accurate.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I assume all TV shows are not accurate. And then as the season progresses, it gets more and more extreme. And so, but I think that there are elements that should make us like, I don't know, be our own, as you say, be smarter than your doctor, or at least, you know, try to be.
Yeah.
I don't want doctors to be offended by that because I don't have a medical degree, obviously. But I should say be an advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Like one of the stories they talked about was about a Black woman who's giving birth in a hospital, who's complaining. Her husband's like, something's wrong. She had just had a C-section. She had internal bleeding for 6 hours that went unnoticed, and they just like ignored her and said, no. And African-American women die, like their likelihood of dying in childbirth is 4 times the rate of white women. And that is an absolute true fact. And they did a whole episode on that. And at the end, they talked about the real story that this was based on. So, like, those kind of things, absolutely. But creative license and, like, you know, that, I get it.
Yeah, and exaggeration and stuff like that. I just saw on Twitter someone saying thank you to Black women Twitter because they advocate for if your doctor denies you a particular procedure or medication, then you should request that they put the refusal in your record.
Yes.
And I'm going to start doing that because, as you know, I've had problems with that.
You know what? Everybody should do that.
Yeah. Make a note. Tell them to document it so that you have. I
have been hearing stories about this right and left, especially with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're like, oh, you should just suck it up. That's not a doctor. That's not a form of treat. That's not how you treat something. Suck it up isn't a prescription.
I went into my doctor for very serious mental health issue, and that when I left, the woman said, "Well, you laughed, so you can't be too bad."
See, and we know that incongruent emotions are a real thing. And that my friend, she just told me the other day, kind of got the same reaction from somebody who she was seeking services from, who said, "You know, things really aren't that bad. You should just be fine." Excuse me?
Yeah.
Because we've been sucking it up and dealing with it for so long and we're good at that now, you're just going to tell me I should just keep doing that? You can stick it where the sun don't shine.
But I should say, our listener, Nikki, she's wonderful. And she did send an article that I'm going to read about why The Resident is, you know, maybe not a good thing in terms of, so I'll pass that along as well.
I mean, it's definitely for entertainment's sake, but I think it's important to, with anything, realize that there's
what's going on.
Yes, that this isn't all, it's fictional first and foremost, of course.
And
I still love it.
Speaking of, you know, the human body and the way that our bodies, you know, operate and get sick and get well. There's a really cool company that I just found out about called Gut Right. And they're doing the thing, you know how like basically all the nutrients that used to be in food kind of like went away because we stopped farming responsibly and stuff. Yeah. And so they created this to make up for all those, they call them modbiotics, which I had never heard of, but they're basically those good things that go in your stomach that help keep your immune system. Yes.
I'm missing them. I know I am.
Right. And you know your body. I start to notice that like when I get a breakout or something, I'll think, uh-oh.
The doctors, this is the nutritionalist or gastroenterologist, whatever, said this is probably why I have folliculitis.
Oh my God. You need
this.
It's
like an imbalance of all of that, gut bacteria and all that. I need it right now.
Okay, well, here's the scoop. This product helps kill off the bad gut bugs that are causing all the havoc in your body and gets your insides cooking at the way it's supposed to be and get you back on optimum health. So Gut Right is the most popular product that they have. It's loved by thousands throughout the USA and around the world. It's basically going to get you what you want cooking in there. Get your gut right. Visit atpscience.com/getgutright and get 20% off your first order plus free shipping when you use coupon code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Offer limited to the first 100 customers to use the promo code. So
I got to do that.
Hurry! atpscience.com/getgutright. That's 20% off first order plus free shipping with coupon code BRAINCANDY for the first 100 people.
Oh, Suze, this is I didn't even know this was one of our sponsors. I'm like really excited right now.
I know. I want to start taking it because I need
totally going to take it and report to you guys because this has been something like I've got definitely an imbalance of like stuff.
I can't believe they told you that.
Yeah, well, just that I'm constantly going back and forth between like I need like a probiotic. I need that kind of stuff. Like I'm missing gut whatever.
Mm-hmm. The good bacteria.
Yeah, the good bacteria. The whatever they call it, flora or all that. Stuff.
Something bio.
Yeah.
Something like biodome. Whatever.
Yeah. Excellent movie, by the way. Yeah.
Where's that sequel?
Oh my God, that would be such a good sequel.
My God, for real?
I want that remake. There were some of the funniest lines from there.
Do you want to hear about the history of aquariums?
Oh, yeah.
What if you said no?
I was like,
not today,
no.
Suze.
No. I do feel like this is one of those things where, like, we as humans should ask ourselves, like, are we doing the right thing?
You are right.
Okay, good.
Yes, that was the sort of takeaway from this Atlantic article.
That's why I decided I can't have birds.
Really?
Because I'm going to take something that flies and has literally the entire sky as its home and put it in something that's a 2x2?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
And clip its wings? Mm-hmm. That seems like torture.
I know it does, doesn't it?
That is like flexing your I'm at the top of the food chain muscle, and we should not do that.
Okay. All right. I'm sure we'll get some angry letters from bird-loving pet owners, but the point that you made is basically what the article was saying, and it was written by a scientist in that field. And she was describing how the first aquariums were on trains, you know, those...
What?
They made the tanks out of like a train cart. Have you not seen these?
My mind is blown because like the last place that I would think a thing that holds water that absolutely is so affected by movement would be the first place we would think to do this.
I knew this because it was in one of Lincoln's Thomas the Tank Engine books where the sharks and all the fish were in each tank and people would come see them when they'd come to town. And they were traveling tanks. Mm-hmm. They were super popular. And so we're so used to seeing aquariums that we probably don't realize how weird it is to have water in a clear tank with living things in it. But it's quite weird if you really kind of back up and think about it. And unfortunately, as Sarah pointed out, tanks that move aren't exactly great for marine life. And they were dying like crazy.
Oh my God, my heart's breaking for fish.
I know. And they were like cooking in there because you can imagine how hot it gets. And you have to be really careful about like water temperature and things like that.
I learned that the hard way. R.I.P. bluefish.
What happened?
When we moved, I didn't I didn't cool his water. Oh, it just got too hot one day. We moved, I don't know what.
Oh my
it
God,
was just,
you cooked it.
I felt so bad.
Boy, you really should not have pets.
Suze, I have two dogs.
You've had I know, but you have a lot of death.
No, I'm telling you, this is like the empathy, like the empath in me where I just attract, the fish, that was my fault. But I think I just attract things that maybe are on their the last.
Yeah.
Like I have this, I always pick out the sick dog or the sick whatever because I'm like, come here, I'll nurture you. It's the same reason I like Oscar the Grouch and Eeyore.
Okay. All right. Point taken.
At least that's how I sleep at night.
Tell that to Bluefish.
I know. And I didn't tell you the other half of the story that his buddy Redfish passed away just like the week I got him. They were fair fish, so.
Yeah, they're carnival fish.
Carnival fish. And the fact that this guy lived for over a year was already a miracle in itself.
That really is. That really is.
Redfish, Bluefish, R.I.P.
R.I.P. This episode is dedicated to red and bluefish. So after the fish started dying like crazy,
that's my favorite thing you've ever said.
I'm going to put a thing at the beginning of the episode.
Oh my God, like one of those black screens that has like the year. Oh, please God, put the date. It's.
What was the date?
It'll be like 2016 to 2016.
So great.
That's so funny to me. I hope that's funny to other people out there because that really tickled my funny bone. Oh God!
I hope Belinda doesn't hear this episode. That was a knee
slapper, a literal knee slapper.
Okay, so they started to be like, "Wait, maybe we shouldn't travel with these guys. We'll make them stationary." So that's when we started creating aquariums as we know them now. But that still didn't prevent the deaths because. Frankly, they're not meant to be in tanks.
Because that is unnecessary. You don't need to say because. We know. It seems like they're. Yeah, we got it. Fish don't need to be sloshing up. Could you even imagine? Sloshing up against the side? They're like definitely slamming into that glass. Coming around a turn? Tracy Jr.? Whipping around those bends? With Nemo in the back? Come on!
I know. It's recipe for disaster.
We're the same.
Funny. We are. So the one thing that they pointed out that I thought was particularly interesting was that when people first saw these traveling tanks, they went to see them because it was almost like a level of technology that they couldn't even conceive of. And now when we go to see them, it's in a way representing this pristine environment that we can't even find in open water because there's plastic everywhere.
Oh my God,
and
that's so true.
Now, instead of it being about technology, it's almost like creating a nature that doesn't exist anymore.
And, maybe that's painting a false idea for some people about the severity of the problem.
Right.
Like, enjoy your sushi because you got about 30 years left, folks.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's really bad.
The plastics.
I'm watching this, the new David Attenborough show on Netflix called Our Planet.
Yes, it's so good.
Oh
That's
my
the one I told
God,
you to watch.
is it good? You were right, Suze. And then I told Landon, I could not get him to sit down and watch this with me. He kept on being like, oh, let's watch something else. Finally, I just turned it on. We were captivated.
Yeah. Did you see the one where the seals fall?
No.
Okay, well, spoiler alert.
Oh, no.
It's so sad.
Oh, no.
And but even Lincoln was like, how did they get that footage? You know how you feel like that?
Yes, that's what Landon asked the whole time. How did they even do that?
It's
the
amazing.
One with the dog chase? The dog hunt?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. And the thing that I really was like the takeaway, this is me again talking about connection, was how everything, like the symbiotic nature of, well, nature, and how everything really is connected, and how we need to be super aware of our role in this whole natural world.
Yeah, we really do.
Yep.
It's our job. It's our job to sort it out.
Yeah.
This article, though, reminded me of another article that just came out that was saying that they tested all these shrimp in England off the, in the water. And they all had, 100% of them had cocaine in their system.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Whoa.
Okay.
Here are a few questions.
Uh-huh.
They were all tested from the same body of water, correct?
Yeah, same general area.
I am under the impression that perhaps this could have been a drug smuggling accident gone wrong, and the same way that the Garfield phones all ended up on the shores in France, but we don't see Garfield phones everywhere, that this could have been drugs
they did
in that
different
area got into the water, and then it's just that area? Or are these all shrimp?
I think it's all shrimp because these, even though it was the same general area, it wasn't all the same body of water, I should have said.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
What and they're
the
saying
actual F?
They're saying that, that people dump stuff, and that's why they get all those weird hormones too. That it's just a natural thing because of human, behavior.
Oh my God.
But the best part of the article is where it said, like it wasn't joking, and it said, but it's not the shrimp's fault. Like as if they're doing
like I was blaming
them,
right? Like the bathroom attendants are knocking on the door as they're taking too long in their little shrimp bathroom stalls at the shrimp club,
and they're like, crack is whack, and they're just like getting their mirrors out and their little dollar bills. So that's good to know. It's not their fault, you guys. Well, that's scandalous, but what's not scandalous is how great our skin looks because BioClarity is doing its job. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We don't have to worry.
I feel like the Floralux has been really helpful. Like, maybe this is all in my head, but like after being out in the sun, I feel like it cools my skin off.
That's what I use it for.
Oh, good. It's not just me.
Yeah, no, I find it very soothing and helpful for, anytime your skin's like, what did you do? Then you're like, here, let me help you. Yeah.
Nice.
And I had a breakout after I went to Hawaii because I was using sunscreen.
Oh my gosh.
It's
how that goes. Worst, right?
It's the worst.
It's like you have to, but I get after 2 weeks on a trip or like a week and a half, I'm like, I have to go home. Not because I want to, but because my skin can't take the sunscreen anymore.
Right. The sweat and the sunscreen, your skin's like, screw you. So thankfully, we have this clear skin routine from BioClarity. It's a 3-step program, gets rid of breakouts and clears and calms your skin, packed full of nutrients. It's just the best. It used to be the case that if I got a breakout, then I was down for the count for like 6 months because then I'd pick it and it'd be a whole scene. But this really helps me nip it in the bud. And you can get healthier, more radiant skin by going to bioclarity.com. And right now for our listeners, you'll save 40% on skincare routines plus an additional 15% on everything on their website. They have masks and serums and eye cream. It's an incredible deal, but you need to enter our code BRAINCANDY at checkout. So go to bioclarity.com and get 40% off skincare routines plus an additional 15% off everything on their website when you use our code BRAINCANDY at checkout. You guys know we love it. It's awesome stuff.
I have a really funny little follow-up for you.
Yes.
Remember how we talked about how the word bunghole is a real thing?
Yeah.
And it's on a wine barrel?
Yes.
Well, this one will blow your mind even more. And then we're going to have to play a game of what the hell came first.
Okay.
A butt is an actual unit of measurement.
No.
Yes. And you know what it is? A wine barrel. So tell me what came first. Is your mind blown?
Yeah, like I'm genuinely wondering.
That's seriously. I lost sleep last night over this.
It has to be the body part first, right?
I don't actually know because the first mention. This is really funny that I totally know this fact because this is how much of a deep dive I did. No, because the first mention of a butt in reference to our rear end was 1794.
No.
And wine definitely was there before that.
So you think this item existed and then it looked like a butt or something?
Oh, yes.
Well, what was your
Perhaps.
theory?
No, I had absolutely no theory.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
unusual.
Well, you've been busy.
But it's the equivalent of 108 gallons of wine.
You're kidding me.
So if somebody said that they had a big butt, they would be holding 108 gallons in that rear end.
I mean, that's about how many gallons
excuse
of
me,
wine are in my butt.
126 gallon of wine. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's what my DNA is now. It's just grapes.
I mean, it just cracked me up.
What a hoot. We need a visual.
Right.
Dahlia, can you find that and like put a picture on our Instagram or whatever? 'Cause,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I got to see this butt.
Yeah. No, and it all started with the video I watched on why do we call your bottom your bottom?
And what did they say?
It's like a really silly thing that the term bottom is fairly new, and really
What?
in a bunch of like really new.
What do you mean?
We didn't. I'm not even kidding. That
What
we
did
used
they
to
call the
it,
bottom of something?
Well, this is the thing. Your bottom is not the bottom of your body.
Yeah.
In almost no position except for the boat pose yoga position, which we are not in that often. Your bottom is never actually at the bottom.
So what you're saying is the word bottom existed, but it wasn't applied to your bung.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Okay.
And like sole, the word sole, like the sole of your shoes, is like the root of that in Latin is bottom of something.
Okay, so that makes sense.
So that makes sense. But there were some arguments, like we don't really know like for sure, but one of the argument was that it is the bottom of our digestive tract, which is really gross.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is really gross.
Yeah, and then it went into like why your butt is important and
Oh, Lord
how
have mercy.
this is such a cool fact. Oh my gosh, see, I'm telling you, my brain is filled with so many weird facts now after like watching all these. This is what happens when all of a sudden I'm done with all the studying I have to do for school. And I'm like, I can't stop learning things. What'll happen?
You're a person
Maybe
now. And
I'm
yeah.
and now I'm like thirsty for all this information. So humans at long distances can outrun every animal on the planet.
What do you mean?
I swear to God, we will get our ass beat in a race, in a foot race, like in a sprint. But long distances,
Like how
humans, and like over the course of like a couple miles, like humans will outrun a horse. Because what happens to an animal is they don't have like a human body is absolutely 100% designed for running and especially for long distance running. We have really strong Achilles tendons. We have a shortened neck that helps for neck stability. We have a really long torso that creates like counter torque or counter movement to the swinging of our legs. We have the largest rear end of any animal because we're bipedal, and no other animal, like all other animals, rest on their hind legs. Like we're the only animal with a butt. And this
I
butt,
never knew it was pronounced bipedal.
Oh, how would you say it?
I've only read it, so I always said bipedal in my mind because it's spelled like a pedal, bicycle.
I mean, maybe it's potato,
No,
but
no,
I've
I
always
think
said bipedal.
No, I like it better that way. I just never thought about it. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, go
you're
on.
welcome. So how it works is because of this perfect design for running, we can maintain our speed and maintain like our body is designed for that. We have like muscles in our butt that help us go for long distances. Where like you look at, even cultures today that are still hunting in Africa and in anywhere where they're still hunting, and it's really just Africa that they referenced in this story. But they were saying that, so say you're hunting an antelope, and the antelope will sprint, and it'll be beating you, but you just maintain a steady pace. And what happens is the animal eventually has to stop and it tires, and it absolutely has to rest because it can't go on. And by that, when it rests, is when the human catches up to it. And then they just spear it, like as it's standing right there.
Do you believe that what they're missing, though, isn't the physical ability to run fast for longer, but the inability to pace themselves.
Oh, maybe a little bit of both, but I do think they're not designed. Like the animal bodies are only designed for short sprints.
Really?
Like
I'm shocked by the horse one.
Me too. I couldn't believe it either. But you watch any animal video of like an animal hunt or an animal chase, and there are these weird moments where even the lion, they'll stop and catch their breath.
But horses
cannot run. We're talking like maintain their speed without taking a break. They could not do that for 20 miles.
Really? They can't trot for 20 miles?
But I think this is what they said in the video.
I believe you. I'm just like, this is shocking to me.
And, so I learned so much crazy stuff.
I was reading about how the Kenyan runners always kick ass in marathons and stuff?
Yes, because they're the ones who have been doing this and essentially maintaining those long-distance speeds.
Forever.
Because they had to. Because that's their food source.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of depressing, though, because it was talking about how it's kind of like when you read about people that win the lottery over here, how, sometimes it's not all the good things you think, and it ends up being ruining
absolutely.
their life.
Yeah.
It's like that with the Kenyan runners. When they win the marathons, they make money, they win prize money, and then they get endorsements and stuff like that. But they're unaccustomed to having that, and so eventually they run out of money, and then they have nothing left because you can't really keep running forever. There's an age limit on how much you can earn. And it was kind of a bummer. Like there almost needs to be a system in place to help them after they win to provide resources for, money management or whatever.
Everybody, like this comes down to education.
Yeah.
And everybody needs financial education.
Well, and
people aren't getting it even in America.
Well, for sure. But most people don't come into large sums
Absolutely
either.
Correct.
And that can be really disorienting because the number feels so big that you think you'll never run out.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember people I know that have won a lot of money on reality shows, for example.
Yeah.
Like $1 million for me, it would sound like, oh my gosh, like you could go forever on that. Yeah. But that's just not the reality.
It's so weird that you say this because like so funny that I watch a ton of stuff or somehow you and I just like cosmically are like in sync because I was just watching a video on like this real inspirational YouTube channel since I've changed Instagram since I've like edited my Instagram to be like all inspirational stuff and I love it. And it was a guy who was teaching about financial management and setting bigger goals. Mm-hmm. And he said, okay, if you're 27 years old, and he did the math, like right in front of this guy on a whiteboard. How old are you? 27. Okay. If you got, like, how much do you think would be enough? Oh, $1 million. Okay. If I gave you $1 million right now, you'd probably feel like, oh, I'm good. I got $1 million, right? Well, if you had $1 million and you spent $4,000 a month, just say that's what you spent to survive, $4,000 a month, rent, food, living, whatever, and you didn't earn another dollar in income, you'd be broke by 52.
Oh, that hurts.
Yep. So think bigger.
Yeah.
And really think about investing. And he was like, you need to get to the point where you are not living paycheck to paycheck. And this one I was like, oh, that's high goals. He said you should be at the point where you're investing 40% of your paycheck into savings.
What?
That's I was like, whoa, okay,
that's
really
a lot. Realistic for a
that's
lot of people.
That's what I said. This was also a white guy, so I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, some other things at play for some of us people.
Well, yeah, like that's kind of absurd.
Women,
there's only, they'll say, well, you have to live beneath your means.
Yeah.
Okay, but there is a lower limit to how much you can live off of, realistically. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Also the gender or the pay gap in gender in. I hate using the word race because it's a social construct. So, like, what else do I call it? In different,
I guess minorities,
ethnic, in different minorities. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
that's the trouble with the race thing we kind of have to continue using the rubric
incorrect term.
Yeah. Yes. because it means something because of bullshit.
And then I feel like every time I say it, I have to like,
qualify it.
Yeah.
Right.
With like, I don't actually believe in that. And I don't think it's a thing. And I think it'll just be a matter of time before that's like, it's totally a social construct. And, we're all more alike than we are different. We have more in-group differences than we have as like differences. Blah, blah, blah.
That. Let's take a second to talk about something everyone loves, which is freaking saving money. I've talked to you guys about this before. It's called Honey, and it's a totally free browser extension that you can put on so that when you're shopping online, wherever you shop, Amazon, Nordstrom, J.Crew, Target, wherever, and you go to checkout, you get an alert about if there's a discount code that you can use, or you can get money back, and it's super convenient. It takes 0 effort to install. Just 2 clicks and you'll start saving money. And like I said, it's totally free. They keep getting these tweets like, I was going to spend over $200 on Fashion Nova, but Honey came in clutch and helped me save $84. And it sounds totally too good to be true, but it is 100% true. I've been using it for years. A lot of people don't like browser extensions anymore, like this one person that tweeted, but said, but Honey is legit. It'll find the best prices on stuff you already buy. So you're going to save money on stuff you were going to buy anyway. There's no reason not to use Honey. It's free to use, easy to install on your computer in just 2 clicks. Don't take it from me. Take it from those listeners and tweeters. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/braincandy. That's joinhoney.com/braincandy. You will save money and you will thank me. Changing the subject. Did you hear about that dumbass who fell into the volcano?
Oh, for Christ's sake. Is this another selfie situation?
Well, I don't know if it was a selfie as much as he just wanted a better look.
Falls in? A better look?
Yeah, he crossed over, the old railing to get a better look and fell right in.
This is why I'm a rule follower.
Of course. It's
those rails are up for a GD reason.
I know.
You know what? Social Darwinism. Good riddance.
He didn't die, though.
Oh, my God. Plot twist.
Can you believe that?
What do you mean he didn't die?
They
you fell into a volcano.
They said that he landed on a shelf.
Oh, my God.
And he was in there for like 4 hours before someone could get him out.
He is so lucky.
I know. And stupid.
Also so dumb. I really hope that he learns his lesson.
How could you not?
Well, I don't, yeah.
What if he fell into another volcano in 2 weeks?
Well, it's like one of those, like, they get struck by lightning thing, and then, like, 3 times that happens.
He's like, this already happened once. It's not going to happen again.
Oh, my God. Yeah, what are the chances? I'll be fine.
Right. But
more like, what are the chances there'll be another shelf to catch your fall, bud?
Right. It's whichever one it was is considered the most dangerous volcano in the U.S., and I just cannot imagine thinking I need a closer look.
No. That's that. Was he a white guy?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Though.
Because there you go. That's like that where we're saying, like in the last episode, about how, like, men who feel like they're, I won't get hurt. I'm stronger than that.
Well, and isn't it surprising how many people fall at the Grand Canyon for that same reason? They just want to get a better look.
I'm the opposite.
Me too.
When I was a kid, I used to get terrified of my brothers getting close to edges. I was like the edge police. Really. I'm like, maintain a safe distance. I remember being a child and being crippled with anxiety and fear anytime my brothers would get close to the edge of anything that they could fall off of, or leaning over the edge of like a railing. It was like in a past life or something like that. So, like I either died like that or lost somebody like that, because I am so scared of people falling off the edge of things.
Even when we were at that Grand Canyon of Hawaii, the Waimea Canyon, and we got those beautiful pictures sort of overlooking the whole canyon. We didn't cross any barriers or anything. We were where we're allowed to be, but it still felt like this seems very scary.
Oh, you know what I think this also may be? When we were talking about the movie, that rock climbing movie?
Yeah,
Free Solo. It's called? Mm-hmm. Free Solo. And there was a line in there that said, people who aren't familiar with climbing may not realize just how terrifying this is.
Yeah.
And that having a knowledge of what could go wrong and having a knowledge of, like, you know, an awareness of your environment.
Yeah.
Makes you more like aware of all the freaking things that could go wrong and all the dangers. And so maybe that's it. Maybe it's just total ignorance that this guy doesn't know jack shit about things that could freaking kill him.
Well, okay, so think about this. Let's say you're where we were on the edge of the canyon, but there's plenty of room. You're not on the edge. And let's say a bee comes over.
Yeah, that's what I think. I always think, what if I have a heart attack right now?
Yeah, so...
What if I have a seizure? What if there's an earthquake? I think of all this.
But those are out of your control, whereas I wonder about the human brain. When the bee comes over, why the human brain goes, oh no, I'm scared of this bee, instead of being like, I don't want to fall over the cliff.
Or how about when an animal crosses into the road and somebody swerves and then they end up killing themselves or getting seriously injured or crashing their car?
It's almost like your brain short circuits and misses the forest for the trees kind of thing.
Yes. Oh,
it's
my
really
God.
not good.
That is a really interesting thing to think about.
So as Sarah says, maintain a safe distance.
Yes, maintain a safe distance. But this is a perfect segue because I have kind of a cute story for you, a happy story, if you will.
Yay.
So you know how you always say that people are a slave to their last names?
Yes.
This 77 woman was driving, and it was late at night, and they were in a town that, you know, not very populated, like in a kind of like a I don't know, desolate road, like not a lot of lights or anything, and definitely not a lot of traffic. And she has an allergic reaction or some sort of reaction to her medication.
Oh, no.
And swerves and goes off the road, and her car goes down into a ditch. And she's trapped, and she turns on her hazard lights, but they're super faint, and she's at the bottom of, like, this ravine.
Oh, wow.
So then, you know, not too long later, a couple hours later, there a guy is driving by, and he was on the lookout for deer because he didn't want to, like, run into one because that's, like, the kind of place that they were driving through.
Yeah.
And so he's on high alert, and he sees some, like, flashing lights out of the corner of his eye, and he keeps driving, and he's like, oh, it's probably nothing. But then gets this feeling like, yeah, you know what? I got to turn around. Like, then there's no way he would have spotted these if he weren't, like, on high alert looking out for deer and stuff like that. So this guy was being really mindful in this moment. Definitely not looking at his cell phone while driving. Love that. And so he decides to turn around, and he goes and finds this car and goes down there. And this woman also didn't have a cell phone, so she couldn't call anyone to come help her. She's 77 years old. This is an old woman. If she were trapped down there for even more than 24 hours, like dehydration, I mean, it could have been a real terrible situation. So he rescues this woman, and guess what his name is? Chris Miracle.
Come on.
Yeah!
That's not a name.
It is a name.
What?
Can you believe that? I think that's an adorable story.
It is adorable, but what the hell ethnicity is Miracle?
I don't know. He's from Mantown, Florida. And it was at 2 a.m.
Florida man. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that is a miracle.
Chris Miracle.
Also suspicious.
Why?
I just don't think that's a last name, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, this is like your mom thing?
Right, where I was like, I met a guy named Craig Numansky. I think he really likes me. And she's like, that's not a name. And then it turned out she was right. He gave me a pretend name because he didn't like me.
I'll tell you, there are 20-plus profiles on LinkedIn with people named Chris Miracle.
Shut up!
Uh-huh.
On LinkedIn.
And this story is all over the place with his photo.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it just happened like last week.
I'm going to look into this, Sarah.
Yep, you should.
I'm going to start poking holes in this story.
Also, the California White Pages has 11 records of Christopher Miracle.
Okay, then fine. Let's say I accept this.
Susie, I come, and also let me tell you where I found this story on, like, it's a news network called Good News Network, where they just collect good stories.
Well, that's
And
real
so,
nice.
like, it's good stories from everywhere. And Susie took the one story I bring from the Good News Network and wants to tell me how it's
lie.
totally fake.
It's a hoax.
It's a hoax.
Okay, wait. Let's say I believe you, okay? And I accept
let's
that
say,
this is her name.
hypothetically.
She's come armed with facts. Now, what country do you think that last name hails from? Can you look that up?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because I did this recently with my name as well, because I was just like curious about it. But
I would think Miracle came from...
are you looking or are you guessing?
No,
gonna
I'm
look this
guessing.
up.
Okay, look. Miracle, origin of last name. Okay, I
let's
think
see.
it would be...
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
say Welsh.
Oh, I should have known. Now I'm
What?
into it.
What?
It's French
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
and Catalan from Madrid or whatever.
Take
That
it
is
back,
so-
Susie.
I take it back.
Thank you.
I'm super into it.
Okay, good.
I want that
I
name.
love how quickly you'll change your mind.
Yeah, well, because once you give me facts, then what can
There
I do?
you go.
So it
Those are the
says
facts.
also that's a nickname. I think that you know how last names sometimes come from things that you did, like a blacksmith
Yes,
or
yes,
whatever you were. This could have been that if you were involved in some sort of miraculous escape or from death or disaster. It says
What? Okay.
that's awesome.
I mean, come on. And so he literally lived up to his namesake.
okay, this is awesome.
Oh, I just got goosebumps everywhere. I love that.
So my theory about last names is still intact.
Totally holds up.
Wow.
Man, that is a feel-good story.
One of my favorite tweets I ever did was about this scandal with a politician whose last name was Goodman. And he had, I think he was a homophobe, but then he was caught like blowing some guy.
Yeah.
And,
Classic.
Or whatever. And I said, the two things got blown in that room. Whoever that guy was banging, and my theory about how people live up to their last names.
Well,
'Cause
you
his
don't
last
know
name
what,
was
how
Goodman.
how good he is at that BJ.
Blowing.
Maybe he's good in some other category.
Yeah, my definition was too broad.
Right. Oh
That's
my
hilarious.
God, that's a good tweet.
Every time this past weekend we went to Santa Monica Pier, and you know how there's always on the pier that table where you can get your name on a grain of rice.
Oh, hilarious.
I
Yes.
always think of you and how you
Yep.
did that.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
I thought it was too.
How about how after we went to
I got no follow up to that. I'm like, yeah, I just agree. It is hilarious.
yeah, it's awesome and great.
Period. End of story.
How about how after we went to the pier, I read the next day that they caught this terrorist who was plotting to like blow up crap in Southern California, including the pier that day.
Susie.
Yeah. He had bought the
Oh my
bombs
God.
and everything.
I don't know if I want you to tell me. I'm having a reaction that I
He
could have
bought-
lost my best friend.
I know. He bought
Oh my
the
God,
bombs
I'm like
from...
feeling like I'm going to cry right now. What is that about?
That's really nice of you.
I just don't ever put yourself in dangerous situations.
I know.
Not like you knew.
He said that he wanted to blow it up because it would have been busy, you know? He would have had a lot of carnage.
Oh my God. I was just at I don't know what they call it now. It's the really like Staples Center in like downtown LA.
Yeah.
And I was at some theater in there. And that used to be the Nokia theater, but they don't have Nokia anymore. So I don't know what it is now. But that's beside the point. But there were so many bomb sniffing dogs. And
Oh, no.
it made me genuinely nervous. Mm-hmm. Like, I wish I would I don't know, didn't have those feelings. But it gives me a little bit of anxiety. Well, not a little, kind of a lot.
Yeah.
To see that and think, like the whole time in the back of my mind, I was thinking, please God, don't let there be something.
Well, that's the thing. You just have to kind of go about your life, but know that at any moment there could be an
Landon's
issue.
in London right now. And there's
wow.
something about London, I think because when I was in London, they had the train bombing, like the bombings.
Yeah.
And that was terrifying and that was before, I mean, this is so awful to say, but like before mass shooting became like a normal thing that we hear about all the time, which is so sick that it is now. But I mean, so now I have this like attachment or like link in my mind between London and terrorist attacks. And Landon's like telling me, oh, it's so lovely. It's fantastic. Like, this is such a great city. And I'm like terrified, but I'm not going to tell him that.
Oh, wow. That's so sad.
Yeah. Ugh.
I get it, though, because, I mean, there's reasons to be fearful, unfortunately.
No, it's so crazy.
Not to be a fearmonger. Yeah.
Well, this is why I love that Good News Network. And shout out to Jamie on Twitter who sent me the original story that led me down this like most delightful rabbit hole wormhole I've ever been down. Mm-hmm. She sent me a great story about a dad named Kevin Gatlin who designed, and this is one of those, why the heck didn't they think of this sooner? Mm-hmm. Who designed blankets with board games and like games on them for children who are in hospitals.
It's so cute.
It's like the cutest.
What a clever idea.
And it's called Playtime Adventures, EDVENTURES. And they also sell them, like you can get them for home. And if you have, like, even just have it at your house if you've got a sick kid, so they're not just sitting around watching TV all day. And the greatest part is he worked with teachers to design the games to make them educational. So cute. Yeah, and 10 hospitals have already, begun using these. But he said that the number of actual patients in hospitals that are using them, they don't have a count on because you can buy them and donate them. Oh, so, lovely. If you're wondering a little way that you can give, like, I just thought, wouldn't that be cute? You donate some game blankets to your local hospital. We should put that in the newsletter. Isn't that cute? So thanks, Jamie, for sharing that with me. I found so many great stories. Oh, so we'll end on a high note in this case. Yes. Oh, yay. Yay, good news. Good news. It's a miracle, if you will. Which now we know is French. Is a legitimate last name. Yes, not fake. Oh. Well, thanks, Sarah. Thanks. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Susie. I love you. Aw, I love you too, Sarah. All right, people, that's all for today. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and subscribe and tell friends. And we'll see you next time. Bye. This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.